Season 2, Episode 18. Video Gamers Oasis, Playful Podcast. Discussions on my favorite games, movies, TV shows, anime, comic books, collectibles, and other fun content for gamers and geeks. I'm your host, Jeremy. Welcome to the show. Hi, I'm Jeremy from Video Gamers Oasis, and I took the time to watch the entire first episode of Disney Plus's Hawkeye. I'm going to review in a series of videos, starting with this one, a review vlog of the Hawkeye series. Stay tuned. Hi, this is Jeremy from Video Gamers Oasis Playful Podcast, and I want to take a few brief seconds to tell you about an amazing service that I use to make podcasts. You know, I really like to talk about gaming and geek entertainment, the different types of things that appeal to a certain genre, and I finally have a vehicle where I can express my creative ideas, my musings through my podcast microphone, and I want to tell you about Anchor.fm. What is Anchor.fm, you ask? Well, Anchor is a free, beginner-friendly platform for podcast creation, containing tools that allow users to record and edit audio, arrange it into podcast episodes, publish podcasts to listening platforms, and monetize content by collecting listener contributions or adding advertisements into episodes. I highly recommend, if you have an idea for a podcast, why don't you go over to Anchor.fm, sign up in the link below, and begin your podcast career. Hi, I'm Jeremy from Video Gamers Oasis, and I took the time to watch the entire first episode of Disney Plus's Hawkeye. I'm going to review in a series of videos, starting with this one, a review vlog of the Hawkeye series. Stay tuned. Hi, it's Jeremy from Video Gamers Oasis again, back again with another video. Big warning here. Spoiler warning, there are spoilers in this and other episodes, so I would suggest if you haven't seen this episode, you see it right away. I got a subscription to Disney Plus, so you should do the same. So we're going to review the show without any sound, of course. We're not going to review the entire show. We're just going to review snippets, and I'm going to comment on what I thought of the show so far. So getting right to the meat of the story, it's 2012 here. So this is like the origin of Kate Bishop, and what happens basically. I'm just gonna get myself set up here. Is that Kate Bishop's a very young Kate Bishop. She's like the future Hawkeye. Big spoiler. And she's listening to her parents. Just gonna go back here quickly. So she's eavesdropping on her parents arguing, grown-up stuff, and arguing about expenses and bills. And basically, I'm just going to get this. So they hear, both of them hear Kate Bishop. Basically, she falls down. So they hear a thump upstairs that she's been eavesdropping on their conversation. So what happens is the father comes in and basically tries to do what a father does, is tries to make peace with the daughter, and you know, he's really a good dad in this story. He's really he wants the best for his daughter, and wants to reassure her that everything's going to be okay. So what happens later is, throws a ball at her. She gets ready for breakfast, and just not yet. So what happens basically? She's having breakfast with her mom. She does a little trick with her food. Buddy, calm down. So she has a good relationship with her mom as well. And later on after breakfast, Lucy, they were going to play checkers, okay? So, buddy, calm. So later on, what happens, there's an explosion. And the daughter's running through the very large apartments. They're a very wealthy family. And she's running through the apartment, and she sees through the window has busted open by what? Chitauri from the first Avengers, and this is pretty awesome, pretty exciting scene. I really like this scene. So the Chitauri, this is back in 2012 when they went through that dimensional portal, and they were started to they were doing under the guidance of Loki. Of course, this is actually Thanos's army eventually. But what happens is that they basically start blasting buildings, but then she sees in the distance, just when a Chitauri was about to attack their family, attack the building, she sees this heroic man fall off a building, and the Chitauri, of course, are coming down to aim at them, and this is pretty awesome. So the heroic man is none other than Hawkeye. He shoots a bow and arrow and a cable and swings around and basically rescues her from the attack of the Chitauri. So he becomes like a legendary hero for her at a very young age. And the mother says, we have to get out of here. And what happens later is, big spoiler alert, is that the dad dies in the attack by the Chitauri, and it's kind of a sad scene. She's wondering, will the Chitauri with aliens come back to finish the job? And the mom reassures them they won't come back. So they deal with grief. Can be a very traumatizing thing, especially if you have lost a loved one through a war or some kind of a criminal attack. It's really a traumatizing experience. So there's a lot of heart in this introduction. So you get to know the sort of the origin of Kate Bishop, what she's all about in her early days, what motivates her. And I really just want to mention, I really like this animated intro to the show, because let me explain. What happens is in this show, it's very important that I mention this, there's so many young superheroes especially,
no disrespect to female superheroes. There's a lot of awesome superheroes, people, but there's a lot of characters in the past, like we've seen, talked about Mulan. Many of us have talked about Mulan, the new version, how she just has all the abilities of a superhero at the very beginning, and there's no progression, no hero's journey. In this story, I've noticed there is a bit of a monomyth. She doesn't immediately become a superpowered Robin Hood, but she gradually learns archery. Starts as a third place, then second place, then first place. Does not start at first place, which is very reassuring for me, because I like a hero that I can relate to. She learns martial arts, of course. She learns fencing, and she gets all these trophies, but through hard work and dedication, not through some kind of Mary Sue, Rey from Star Wars, and the new version of Star Wars, force ability, where she just has these abilities that she's born with coming out of her mother's womb. No, through hard work, practice, and dedication, she becomes a great archer and martial artist. So I really like that. So present day here, she's basically at this at this university or college, and she's with her friends, and they're helping her. They're talking to her through the cell phone. She's climbing up the top of the tower, and what she does is basically, which is pretty funny, she's on an archery team. She wants to shoot the bell of the tower, and they're arguing whether when you hit a bell, is it the bell that rings, or is it the little ding-a-ling thing inside the bell that rings? So that's kind of a funny little conversation. So she aims at the tower, goes ding dong, and what happens subsequently is the tower starts to crumble. And this is in Christmas, of course, and the security guard catches her in the act. So it's kind of an embarrassing, awkward situation for Kate Bishop. And switching over to this is, of course, during Christmas time, if we haven't already mentioned that. And it's at a live theater, musical theater. This is pretty cringe, but in a funny way. There is a musical of the Avengers, kind of meta. It's almost like a show within a show, and there's all these people sitting in the audience, including Hawkeye, Clint Barton, with his family, his daughters and sons, and he is really wishing he was somewhere else. So it's a very cringy musical. With the strength you bring, we'll rise again. Avengers unite, 'cause we've got to hear you say, I could do this all day, save the city. And all these characters from the original Avengers movie are all prancing around, dancing around, doing a musical, and it's really, really delightfully cringe, I must say. It's cringy, but it's very comedic. I found it very amusing. Save us from the state we're in. The Hulk is incredible, smashing things up. And then we have, well, Iron Man takes to the sky, and Captain America's strong, and Thor is a god. And Lord knows they're easy on the eyes. Black Widow's a knockout, who can knock you out? And when Ant-Man flies, you won't hear a sound. And the music fades, and he's just staring there, like almost like numb. I don't know if you've been there, if you're watching a movie or a show, someone's performing in front of you, and you just feel absolutely numb, like you don't feel anything, because you feel like you're in a dream, a bizarre dream. And it's funny because it's just, he doesn't want to be there, but he's watching this with his kids, and he's just watching how his war, it's almost his war story, basically. It's like having a soldier, being a soldier, and watching your career as a soldier being paraded as a Broadway musical. I'm just trying to empathize with Hawkeye and how he feels right now, and that's probably what he feels like, is that he's watching this musical and everyone's prancing around, dancing, turning the show into a big, almost like a farce. And the daughter says, "Dad," and there's a high-pitched ringing. "Did you turn your hearing aid off?" I like that part. So basically, he has a hearing aid. He must have some like a hearing impairment, and he turns it off so he doesn't have to hear the singing. And that's just, I found that quite amusing. So there's more musical schlock here. Very, very lighthearted. It's almost like watching the Spider-Man musical that was in the theater, that was in Broadway a few years ago, but 10 times more cringier. And but it was just it is very very lighthearted and fun scene here. So there's switching over to Brent Barton. He's in the loo. Thanos was right. There's a little logo there. I've seen T-shirts with that saying. Hit the like button if you have seen this kind of statement before. Hang on here. So he goes over to the to the bathroom, and this gentleman, I think I've seen him before. He's a Canadian actor, but he's a special. He's a dad who wants a selfie for his kids, and he said it's not really appropriate time right now. I'm in the John. So he walks out of the theater, and it's like the whole experience has left him just totally almost traumatized. It's almost like he's reliving all his experiences again in a very bizarre, kind of surreal environment. His daughter's trying to check out how he's doing. So there's a bit of introduction in Brett Bart in the hero's Hawkscope's life. So Kate Bishop comes home to her very wealthy mom's home in New York, and she's wearing a red dress. She's going to do a charity auction, basically because they were going to raise money for the bell tower, among other things, the one that she helped wreck to that bow and arrow action. And she's very, very ambitious mother. She's involved with a lot of in very wealthy kind of to-do parties. And the mom gives her daughter a pep talk, saying basically we're wealthy, we have to behave in a certain way, we have to be responsible with how we act, giving her daughter a pep talk on how to behave properly. Shooting down bell towers is not the way you do that. Young people think that they're invincible, but they're not. Kind of like that message there. Is a good message on humility. And so this is like a samurai sword. I'm not sure the significance of that sword right now. What's with all the swords, Mom? There have been a few changes while you're away this semester. So in comes Mr. Romeo with a rose in his teeth. He has a big long mustache, and basically he's his date. He's the date of the mom. A little bit more later on, it reveals. So they're on to the party. Meanwhile, basically Clint Barton. His name's Clint Barton. Pardon me. Clint Barton is basically having a Chinese dinner with his children. They're having crab, nonetheless, enjoying their crab, and they're just enjoying their time together. And I just want to mention one thing before we move on. Her location. A little bit of time. So this is the scene where the owner of the restaurant comes to pay the bill. Basically, give them a free meal as a expression of gratitude for Hawkeye or Clint Barton rescuing the city from the Chitauri invasion. So a bit of a expression of gratitude there. So meanwhile, Kate Bishop is at the rich to-do party, and this elderly man is basically the father of the mustached gentleman who's dating her mom, and she discovers through him that they are engaged. The mom and his son, played by actually the son is played by Tony Dalton. Just want to mention this. Tony Dalton is Tony Dalton is a Mexican-American actor, screenwriter, and producer. Having studied acting at Lee Strasberg Theater Institute in New York City, Dalton began his career in several off-Broadway productions, including The Ballad of Sad Cafe, A Streetcar Named Desire, One Flew to Cuckoo's Nest. So he's a very established actor. I just wanted to mention this because we are going to see a lot more of this character now. This gentleman on the left, he's going to play an important role in the show. So the son wants to go home. He's bored, and so Kate Bishop goes outside to get some fresh air. After that bag of hammers drops on her head of the news of her mom, and that's her dog. And the puppy has one eye. I don't know if it's her dog. I think it's eventually becomes her dog, but he plays an important role in the show. I've got powerful friends too, the kind you don't want to mess with. So this is actually the character who played by this is the father of Tony Dalton. He's warning Kate Bishop's mom, I've got powerful friends, you don't want to mess with them. So basically threatening her. And she's asking, what happened? What's going on? Who's threatening you? I have no idea. So there's a bit of an intrigue going on there. She goes to investigate. She goes to the cellar where all the wine was stored, and there is and she goes to investigate. There's Clint Barton, Tony Dalton, not Clint Barton, and his dad, and they're basically sitting at a auction, and they're auctioning off valuable items. Very, very extremely valuable. And she's working basically as a busser. And what happens? Basically, this auctioneer is auctioning off various items, including Hawkeye's retractable sword that he used when he was called the Ronin, and he was slaughtering Yakuza bosses left and right after the big Thanos snap. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool sword. It's almost like a lightsaber, but it's metallic. It retracts. This guy buys it for $350,000. Even though he doesn't have $350,000, he says to his dad, I'm going to be marrying a very wealthy widow. Don't you worry about it. $350 it is. I'm going to buy it. So what happens later on is it's sold for $475,000. The raise it even more. What happens later in the auction? There's a big explosion. All these bandits come in looking for a very expensive watch. And we're getting near the end, folks. We're getting near the end. Their expensive watch, and they're picking up the items, and they're holding people at hostage. And what happens is Kate Bishop puts on, it's pretty funny, I like this. Kate Bishop puts on the Ronin's costume, which was on the auction, and she puts on the mask. No one recognizes her, who she is. She starts kicking bandit gangster ass left and right. She's actually a very good martial artist in this show. I'm very impressed with her fighting style. She uses the wine bottles as a weapon, which is really resourceful of her. And are all trying to attack her. And so I really like these fight scenes. They're very swashbuckling, kind of. She's very plucky and bold heroine. Bit rough around the edges, but she has a lot of potential in this show. I think I like her fighting style. And so she runs away, and basically, because she quits the job at the restaurant. She doesn't want to be involved anymore. She sees the one-eyed dog. She leaps over the cars and basically rescues the little puppy, little golden retriever, one-eyed golden retriever, and she makes breaking news. Everyone thinks that she's the Ronin. This is, of course, the scene of the Ronin. Previously in Marvel Avengers Endgame, when after the snap, he just basically snapped himself. He became very despondent, nihilistic, and started assassinating Yakuza gangsters. And what happens is she takes the puppy to her apartment. And she makes the news, basically. Just gonna quick back here. So breaking news, they see a masked man rescue a dog, and the masked man appears to be the Ronin. Authorities believe the assailant could be the Ronin. See, no one really knows who the Ronin is to this day in this universe, which is pretty funny. Is that everyone thinks she is the Ronin, and he himself was the Ronin. That was his costume that he abandoned. So she rescues the dog, takes it to her apartment, has a cute little apartment, little kitchen, gives the dog some pizza, and later on she heads on out to do some investigating into the home of the Tony Dalton's dad character. I don't have his name at the moment. Leave your comments below if you know the actor's name. And there is a murder scene. Tony Dalton's dad appears to be murdered, and so she quickly gets out of Dodge there. And subsequently, going outside, she is faced with what appears to be Russian mobsters. I'm not going to assume, but they are Slavic. They have a European accent, and they are mad as hell. They are waiting to gang up on the Ronin. They think she's the Ronin because he was always assassinating mobster leaders, and now they're coming to give him the comeuppance that they feel that he deserves. And so she's like being ganged up, and she's doing a pretty good job defending herself, but she goes into her car, and suddenly this masked hero comes out and starts whipping ass and taking names. Not masked hero, but she doesn't see his face at the moment. And what happens is that the hero who rescued her for the gangsters turns out to be Clint Barton, and he slams her against the wall gently, of course, and rips off the mask, and there she is, Kate Bishop, and he is, come on! It's Kate Bishop wearing my costume, the Ronin's costume. And you're Hawkeye! And who the hell are you? So he meets her for the first time, and it ends with "It's the most wonderful time of the year," Christmas song. I really enjoyed it. It was a very entertaining episode. I'm looking forward to episode 2. So if you enjoyed this review, please leave a like. Appreciate your feedback. Tell me what you thought about episode 1 of Hawkeye on Disney Plus. Leave your comments below. Did you agree with some of my opinions? Did you disagree? Did you like how they handled the character of Kate Bishop? Do you think they gave her a good character, a good fleshed out character so far, so to speak? Do you think she's going to be a good sidekick for Hawkeye? Leave your comments below. She's going to obviously carry on the mantle of the Hawkeye, but she's a big fan of the Hawkeye. So it'd be interesting to see how the story develops. There's a bit of camaraderie going on, and obviously an evil criminal organization that they have to battle. So I'm looking forward to episode 2. Stay tuned for more videos such as this. We're going to continue on an episodic review, a review vlog of Hawkeye on Disney Plus. So stay tuned. Make sure to stay subscribed to Video Gamers Oasis to be notified of future videos. I'll also be doing other videos. I'm starting the X-Men 97 series. I'm doing a review vlog of that as well. So stay tuned for that, as well as my usual gaming videos. And my podcast is Video Gamers Oasis Playful Podcast. This and other videos will be edited and uploaded onto Video Gamers Oasis Playful Podcast in audio format if you want to listen to it while you're on the go. Thanks for watching, and take care of yourselves, and have a great holiday season. All the best. Bye.
Video Gamers Oasis Playful Podcast credits. Musical intro. Friday Night Gaming 1 hour mix. Number 1. Free use. No copyright synthwave. New retro outrun EDM. YouTube channel DGDTV Diamond Gaming TV. Stock footage video game screen. YouTube channel RAWR RAWR Designs. Video arcade desktop wallpaper. Pixario.com. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.